It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Can't believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
All of our favorite bits from the week dead ahead, including just the simple question, what are you worried about? Like you find yourself constantly worrying about, and a really serious call that we got from a listener who's only a year into his marriage and really worried about something, again, kind of serious. You got to hear that coming up in the podcast. Plus, like our favorite spots of the week. Let's go.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo. Bingo!
Bingo what bingo?
Bingo!
I've always enjoyed this part of our show because we get stories from you. Maybe you're somebody listening who
has a big stash of meat. There was a truck that just pulled up to a meat factory and drove away with 80,000 pounds of beef. And nobody questioned it because everybody, if you look like you're supposed to be there, people will believe you. So, who said that?
Where's the beef?
That old lady said that.
No, who said that in a movie? Like Leo DiCaprio, in...
was it Catch Me If You Can?
Yes, where he's like, if you just play the part, people will believe you.
I'm on the hunt this morning for anyone listening who is in like a multi-generational business. Like your grandfather and your father were electricians, and you are too. You know, that kind of a thing. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Holly. You're first through. What's good? How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Great. Thanks for asking. Which one do you fit?
I kind of said both bingos.
So talk about your meat first, please.
All right, meat first. Every year with taxes, my hubby and I, we get a cow and a pig and put it in the deep freezers because we have a household of 6, and that lasts us all year.
Now, how much is half a cow?
Oh, we get a whole cow.
Oh, you get a whole cow. How much is a whole cow?
Oh, my God. It's like about 200 to 300 pounds.
I think she was asking like dollar amount. After your processing and everything, what does that run you?
Oh, it's about 1,500.
Okay, and then you get a pig. So you're about $2,000 in on meat for the year, but it'll last you the whole year, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
And I got a household of 6, so that lasts pretty well.
How many are in your household, Holly?
6.
I know. I was just
all right
with you. Tell me about the multi-generational 6, 7. You missed it. But you missed it. I set you up. I put the ball on the tee.
You didn't even know what you were doing, or you could have done it.
For you. I don't get satisfaction off this. You said you wanted to do it. So tell me about the multi-generational. Who's in this this line of work that you're in, probably, right?
Nope, it's my husband. Okay. It's a machinist. My husband's great-grandpa, grandpa, and father, uncles have all been machinists, and like they all have like the same like great-grandpa's tools and everything else.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, a CNC machinist.
How about your kiddos? Will they follow up in this?
Most likely, because they're really good at math and figuring that stuff out, and they love computers.
Now,
but they're not being forced into it. It's not like Varsity Blues where they'll yell back, I don't want your life, or anything like that.
Oh, God, no. Okay. No.
Take great-grandfather, grandfather, father, husband. How many total digits are missing?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, we're missing some fingers along the way.
Yeah,
right?
or she would have said none. So
none.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No one's missing anything as far as I know. I mean, I haven't heard of any bad accidents, and yeah.
Look at you, the safety family. And how many in your family again?
Stop. Don't say it.
A lot.
Okay.
Say it, Holly. How many?
Which family? My family, biologically at home?
Your family. How many people in your household?
A lot.
You're killing me.
Don't make her say
Have a great morning. I appreciate you calling. Good morning, Emily. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. How many people are in Holly's household?
I don't get the joke, but 6.
6, 7.
Yeah. It's not a joke. It doesn't make any sense. Kids that are 12 are saying it. It drives me crazy. So,
which one do you fit, Emily?
We have 2 deep freezers full of meat in our house. Yeah, so my in-laws are farmers, like beef farmers. So.
Okay, so it's primarily beef, or you got some chicken in there, you got some lamb?
We got a little bit of everything. So we have a lot of beef, and then we also purchase and butcher our own hogs every year. We have quite a bit of venison and a bunch of chicken, too. So quite a bit of everything.
If you find yourself with extra maple venison sausage, You know who to contact, okay?
Do you ever get like nervous
Yeah.
when you see the bottom of the freezer? Do you start getting in panic mode? You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
A little bit. I have not bought a package of ground beef since I met my husband like 14 years ago. So I've never had to run into that. But sometimes when we get low, it is a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So safe to say you married him for his meat.
Yes.
The sausage.
I love
Have
that
you ever
you're-
had a vegetarian over and you're like, hey, can you go grab the ice cream from the deep freezer? They're like, don't.
Scare them.
Yeah.
They're
The
never
worst.
coming back.
Yeah.
You're the best. Thanks, Emily. I appreciate your call this morning. I hope you have a great morning. Look, we're going to do a triple bingo this morning. Hi,
Yes.
Barb. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. What's the number after 5?
6?
6, 7. All right. Which one do you fit, Barb?
I said cat.
All right. You
Okay.
got
Well,
a
I
bunch
don't.
of
My
meat,
daughter
too.
does.
Look at all these meat lovers. All right. How much does she have?
My daughter has 3 7-cubic-foot freezers in her garage, plus her freezer and refrigerator.
Oh,
plus
wow.
she's got a 5-cubic-foot freezer at my house, and she's using my freezer.
I would be so nervous. That's a lot of money. I would be very nervous about power going out, everything thawing out. I'd have to call the neighbors, come grab some meat.
So why so much? Why is she hoarding all this meat? Does she have a big family?
Well, she has 4 kids of herself, plus she fosters 3 children.
Okay.
So there's 9 in that family. And then every now and then, when she's nice, she'll help me out.
All right, so you want to break this down real quick from Melissa. If you're in the food service industry, this is probably something I want to hear about you from.
So she said she's 22 and she just started serving. I've never done it before. I'm working for a chain restaurant here in town. Wonder if this is a thing. My manager training me told me not to ask if anybody had allergies. He said it slows things down, complicates everything. I have brothers that are very allergic to things. Whose job is it to bring it up? I feel like at the end of ordering, I should at least say, like, anybody have any allergies? It just doesn't feel right. So let's help Alyssa
I think we
out.
can all agree that it is if you have the allergy, it's your responsibility. But I just don't feel like this is a bad thing. Barbara, your thoughts on this?
I've been on both spectrums of that. I've been a server, and I never asked if they had allergies or not because, sometimes it might not be pertinent to the situation of where they're at. But with that being said, I am allergic to tomatoes and some kind of spices. So when I go out, I let them know, hey, this is what I'm allergic to. I can't have this, this, or this. So
But you wouldn't find it a problem if your server started by saying, oh, hey, guys, welcome in. I'll get you waters in a second. Anybody got any allergies? That wouldn't be a problem with you, would it?
I think it would be a little bit intrusive.
Really?
Because if I'm going to that restaurant, I should know what they serve, how they serve it.
Yeah.
Because if I would know, okay, well, this is what they have. I can't have much of this. So, either go to a different restaurant or, order something that you can have.
I don't think I'd use the word intrusive. I think that it's just one thing that you just have to say no. Like, do you have any allergies? No, thank you. All right, perfect. I'll get that order in for you right away. But I don't think that it's her responsibility to do it.
For sure, responsibility lies on you, what you're going to put in your body. Hey, Barb, I really appreciate your call. Thank you so much. I got time for one more real quick. Raquel, good morning. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Good. You said you have been a server, but did you say that when we were just kind of talking off the air that you have a child with an allergy now?
Yeah, my son's allergic to peanuts severely. And my big thing is servers should know, what kind of oil is being used at any of the restaurants that they work at.
Yep.
Because I've had it where I'll be like, my son likes fries, but what kind of oil do you use? And they're like, oh, we don't know. Or I think it might be this. But I'm like, can you double check?
Right.
Because working in the industry, you've heard so many stories of somebody saying, hey, I'm allergic to this, but the server doesn't look at the ingredients. And then that person has a reaction or could die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my son is somebody who could die if somebody says, oh, yeah, we use canola oil and they use actual peanut oil. Luckily, we always have EpiPens with.
Well, and when you're working for $6 an hour plus tips and you probably hate your manager and you just got called in because somebody else was hungover, you're not really thinking of everyone else's well-being.
I think if it's a question like that, I would ask the manager over the server real quick. Like
That
if
is
I
the
were
cook.
about to be seated, I would say, this is really important. Super quick question before we dine is this. And then you can sit there and look at the menu without wondering. But
Exactly.
How old is your son right now?
He's a little over 2.
I mean, yeah,
He's
so you
about
got to
2 and
be
a half.
completely looking out for his well-being. Like by the time he's 10 or 11 and stuff
Yeah.
like that, he'll do a better job on his own. But yeah, I mean, you're his only gate there.
Yeah.
I got
For
it.
sure.
All right. Hey, thanks for your thoughts on this. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a great morning. I saw this list a teacher has posted right as you walk into her room. It's going pretty viral lately of all the words that she keeps adding to it. She just puts another piece of tag board up there. All of these words are banned from her classroom. She's clearly going through a little midlife thing, and she doesn't want her middle school kids saying certain words. And it started with Riz and Ohio and skibbity toilet and all this stuff.
I saw the list, and a part of me is like, yes, it's so annoying when they talk like that, but it's how they talk right now. It's like, I don't know if there's really any sense to making them stop doing it. It'll phase itself out like most things.
If you were to
but
flash back to you in middle school, what do you think your teachers hated?
we didn't
You did.
do a ton of stuff that I don't know. I think we were obsessed with passing notes. We were obsessed with these little, the hand things that look like fortune cookies, and then playing games like that. But I don't think we had our own lingo or language.
My teachers, there was a stretch, and I'm sure everybody's got a little different middle school language, and it was mostly the girls. Man, it was the cool girls.
Uh-huh.
That would go, you'd say something, they'd go, nadoy.
Nadoy. For sure.
And I remember teachers, especially our older male teachers.
Yeah.
Stop!
Oh.
Don't want to hear that anymore. And then under their breath, they'd be like, nadoy.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to ask teachers every single, decade of their career what really got their goat. So I wouldn't consider myself a victim in any way in life. This is the only thing that I feel like I'm a victim of, just this nonsensical stuff with Liam. Do you have my computer turned up?
Yeah.
So this is what he says. And if your middle schooler does the 6'7", it's too much for me to handle.
Lindsay, how tall are you? Oh, I'm like 6 foot. 6'7". No, I'm not 6'7". Yo, Mr. Lindsay, what's 9 times 7? Well, 9 times 7 is 60. 6'7".
Okay.
I don't get it. What am I
Don't even
missing?
look at me. Don't even ask me. I have no
6,
freaking
7.
idea.
What am I missing there?
Let's say we're looking at a menu. Let's say yesterday at the Mexican joint we went to, and there are 6 taquitos that come on a plate, and Liam goes 6, 7. You have to follow a 6 up with a 7. If your child does this,
what the hell is this?
We need to meet today. We need to have some drinks because it just doesn't make any sense. And not even Liam can explain why he does it. It's just it takes over his body, and they can't not say 7 after 6.
6, 7.
6, 7. And they talk you into it,
Boy.
Hey, Mom, how old were you after you were 5? And then you're like, I was 6, 7. It's crazy, and it's too much for me to handle.
I'm never, ever going to endorse locking a child in the basement.
Yeah.
But this one would probably get me there.
They'd be like, how many stairs you walk down to get here? You'd say 6. They'd be like, 6, 7. Yeah. I know. Imagine that all the time. And
here's where my head is going right now is coaching baseball this summer. There's going to be so many times that the number 6 is going to pop up.
Today at practice, I want you to ask them if
all
they know
these
it.
kids start going 6, 7, it's going to be over. I'm just, bats are too accessible. I don't.
Yeah, ball machines.
God,
stand in front. You're going to.
I don't know what
5
my
to the
blood
belly.
pressure is up right now. I can feel the little vein in my neck starting to pulse.
But the worst part is that my kid will he'll start a conversation, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a cool conversation, nice and serious. And then it is all leading up to a 6, 7.
He's just goating you in.
Yes.
Playing the long game.
It's awful.
Trisha had texted in. I would call real quick, but I can't. But when my son says what? Instead of excuse me or pardon me, my wife does it all the time, and she has the best manners except for that.
She just says what?
She'll go what? And I'll be like, you mean pardon me or excuse me? She'll mumble something from 5 rooms away.
Yeah.
And I'll go, pardon? That's the proper way to respond to something like that. Instead of, she just goes, what?
Oh.
And it's always with a frown. You're so stupid. Why can't I understand you?
Do you say McKaylin's?
No.
Said my kids like to say "bruh."
Bruh.
Like to say "bro." It's annoying. Oh, girl.
They'll get over that, though. My son went through that phase for a little bit, and I kept going, I'm your father.
Yeah. Joe,
Bro.
I'm out of the bet zone. Thank God. It was bet for a long time.
No cap.
No cap bet. Shut up. That's what I just wanted.
Don't do a school prank. Don't do a senior prank. You're probably going to get caught and in trouble. But if you were going to do a senior prank, what could you highly recommend? Because it was awesome.
They have the ones where they release chickens. They put the school up for sale.
I did
Was that yours?
I put the school up for sale. We had plucked a bunch of realty signs out of neighborhood homes and then put them up on the front lawn. And then I had thought far enough ahead. We had a local newspaper that only came out on Wednesdays, the Belle Plaine Herald.
Yes.
And I bought an ad in the Herald, building for sale, square footage, address,
a steal of a deal.
Phone, yeah, and that's basically what it said is highest bidder will get this on a certain day, but you must call before whatever. And I left the school phone number in there. So the Herald came out on that Wednesday, and the poor lady at the front desk, Susie, just got bombarded with phone calls.
Did you have a Bueller type principal, or did they have a sense of humor?
Well, by this time, while I was a senior, he had gotten to know me very, very well. We had spent a copious amount of time together. And I was never like malicious about stuff, but I always found things a little bit funny, especially at like an administration expense.
Yeah.
And he would just, I remember one of my friends rolled because this guy was intimidating. They called him Lurch because that was his nickname, because he was like 6'7". Like, he was a huge dude.
Sure.
And the way he would saunter through the halls with these long gaits, and he would just stare down on you as a kid, you know what I mean? And immediately, there was only like 3 of us that knew that this was going on. And immediately he hits up one of my friends. He goes, "You know who did this, don't you?" And he goes, "It was JJ. It was JJ right away." Like, right away.
I knew it.
And I was like, dang it. I mean, it was first period. I got called out.
Yeah.
And
I bet he had times where he woke up in like a sweat at night and just said, "Holiday."
You know how that little intercom thing goes over and it's like, they call me down to the office, and right away I was like, "Ooh," and I'm like, "Oh, you didn't know what this was about." Right. So in my walk down to the principal's office, I'm analyzing in my mind who rolled over on me, right? And he said, "Here's the deal. I could make it so that you can't walk at graduation."
Yeah.
And I go,
I thought it was like a threat, like gonna hit your knees or something.
No. And but I immediately said to him, I go, "I'm giving the honor speech."
Yeah.
And he goes, "We're going to have to figure something else out. Why don't you have a seat?" And you could tell
tell your mom and dad that you were.
My dad would have thought it would have been hilarious. My mom would have got wigged out by it. So, again, don't do a senior prank.
Don't do it.
But if you were going to you could probably learn from Ben. Where'd you go to school, Ben?
I actually go to Rogers High School as of right now.
Oh, as of right now. Are you planning a senior prank?
Yeah. We actually did our senior prank already over the winter break, actually.
Ooh, what'd you guys do?
So basically, me and my class, so basically what we decided to do, we decided to go into the principal's office when he wasn't there and literally wrap every single thing he had in wrapping paper.
Gotcha. That's a pretty good one.
You said it was around the holidays. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the fallout from something like this? This seems like a kind of a victimless crime.
Yeah, it basically was. I mean, we even got me and my friends, we even got like permission from the vice principals and the assistants.
So that's good.
Only the principal wasn't. Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm very proud of all the people that you go to school with for not narking or like leaking it at all. That's like kind of a huge deal.
It was kind of hard trying not to tell everyone that like the principal's office is one big gift.
Yeah.
And that's a vibe that you guys have right now, like your age range. Like for us, it was us against the administration. And like Ben's class, you went and you got permission from people. It was victimless. Yeah. Nobody got hurt.
And those adults are like, absolutely, you're not doing it to me. For sure. Right. You go get them.
We'll leave the door open for you.
Hey, have you seen that video of the principal that walks down in the morning and she has her robe on and she has like a bonnet on and she comes down, and after she enters her kitchen, all the senior kids are sleeping over in her, like her husband let them all in.
That's pretty good.
And they have their pillows and blankets, and they go, "Good morning, Mrs. So-and-so." And she's like, "Oh, my God." That's a good one.
Well, I like it, Ben. Thanks for sharing, man. I hope you have a really good morning. I'm not going to say her name, but we got a text. She said, please don't use my name. I went to a very small school. Someone left one of our wood shop doors cracked open, 7th hour on a Friday. So a bunch of us got together and took as many desks out of the classrooms as we could over the weekend.
That is a really small school. If you could just like grab all the desks and hide them there.
But they come back Monday. There's no desks in the school. Like, that's a pretty good one, right?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Jasmine, just text us where you went to school because I'm curious.
We're not supposed to use her name.
Oh.
Jesus. Have you noticed now that you've sprung into the 40s that you worry a little bit more about everything?
I worry less about stuff. And I'm so proud of myself because I could be like my mom. My mom worries about a lot of stuff.
You were on that path.
I was on that path.
I think you seeing me not care about anything in life has probably got you back to center.
I can tell it kicked in like 5 years ago. I'm so glad that I am at the point. I still have a level of worry, but it's not to the, oh man, I would stay up, head on the pillow, not go to bed for another hour, just thinking about stuff and where things could go. And, that's no way to live.
I found that we made a move in last May. We moved. And for everything this move was right about, I find myself worrying so much. To get to our new place, like I said, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So the ride is a little bit difficult. And there's a couple of kind of bendy roads. And then when the weather's not great, but I find myself absolutely worried to death about my 17-year-old's safety as he's driving every single day. And I don't know why it is. I have never worried about anything so much in my entire life. And he's not a bad driver and he's not a dumb kid, but I also have these immense flashbacks to how stupid I was when I was 17. Mm-hmm. And it took me literally nothing as far as encouragement to do something dumb.
Yeah.
And I want him to be smarter and better. And that's the one thing I worry about every single day is just the road in. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why, but I obsess about it. What's the one thing you worry about every day?
If I had to say one major thing, it would be my child's safety as well. It would be, am I saying good morning to him for the last time? You know what I mean? Like a weird world we live in. I should not live like that. Something could happen at school. Some freak accident could happen. And that would be the last time that I had communication. Like I don't know how parents deal with that. And that's my biggest worry. The other stuff, I'm like, I've really gotten to the point where I know for a fact nothing is ever worse than what you're making it out as in your head.
90% of the things you worry about will never even have an option to happen. And they say only 4% of the 10% of things that could happen will happen. All right. So if you break it down, 96% of the things you worry about will never happen.
Yeah.
That's the legitimate research on that. But we all still worry about something. Jeff, what do you worry about every day, man?
I mean, the thing that I worry about every day is that, my wife is going to cheat on me.
Why do you worry about that? Has she cheated before?
Not that I know of. I mean, we've only been married a year, but she's such a big flirt. And I thought it would just kind of go away over time, but honestly, it just feels like it's gotten worse. And she'll do it right in front of me, which is guys that she meets, and I don't know.
Are you worried that it's going to give? Obviously, it's going to give someone the wrong impression. If someone goes hard on you and flirts with you, of course they're going to think this woman is into me.
Exactly, and I don't know if when she leaves the house, she's taken off her ring or what. I don't know how she's really flirting when I'm not around. I see what she does in front of me, and that has me nervous. What's going on when I'm not there?
I can get that. Almost all the texts we're getting, money. People worry about money. And I get it. It makes the world go round. You got to pay your bills. You got to pay to feed your family. You got to pay a car payment to get to work so that you can make money to pay your bills, right? It's just this endless cycle. But is there something on your mind that you're worrying about every single day? Talking about sibling secrets. So your sister was able to keep the secret of you stealing your parents' car at age 12 over and over and over again because she was getting soft serve ice cream.
I had the bribery thing going. She didn't tell on me. I was the one. I was reckless and drove and didn't account for my mom maybe coming home that day a little bit early and got busted. But
Talked to young Steven a couple of seconds ago. He and his siblings broke their mom's, like a utensil jar?
Yeah.
And they were smart enough to order one off Amazon real quick and then tell mom that they had taken it to a place in town to get it detailed and cleaned and touched up and everything like that.
I didn't have no Amazon to save my butt back in the day, so.
Then it appeared, and all of a sudden it's brand new on the counter, the same jar that she loved. She never knew the difference. And then we got a text from, we're going to call her Mrs. X because she needs to keep this anonymous. And she said, I've got a story I've never told anybody before. And the text said something about killing the dog. So break it down for us, will you?
Okay, so when we were young, probably I was 15, my sister was 16. We were smoking, the green stuff.
Yeah. Let's go.
And we lost it. And it turned out our dog ate it and died.
Oh, my God.
That's not funny. I still cry over it.
How did they find out that it was the weed that did it to him?
They took him to the vet because it just spontaneously happened. She had seizures and it was bad. She died at the vet. But I'll still take that to the grave.
Nobody has ever told this to your parents that it was your weed that killed the dog?
No. Me and my sister are taking this to the grave. You guys are the first. I haven't even told my husband of 10 years.
Wow.
Okay?
I feel so
honored,
privileged, but I feel so horrible for your dog and for you missing out on that great ganja.
Me too.
Kat had saw one of those renovation programs, so it's kind of like Maine Cabin Masters, but not a cabin and not in Maine.
Right. It's totally different. But it's in Hawaii, Renovation Aloha. And it was the first time I've watched it. And they went in to explain why most of these homes need to be made for multi-generations to live in. Upstairs would be the younger generation. Then below would be the grandparents' suite. So you have to make it like a little apartment down there.
So if you're middle-aged, you're kind of waiting on the grandparents to die off so you can move downstairs?
And then you live down there, and then your kids move upstairs with their families. And but I have a lot of pros with living in a multi-generational house. And Mallory had texted. Mallory's on right now. So tell us about your family situation and the home life.
Yeah, so we just moved into this house a little over a year ago, and we did it for my mother-in-law who's losing her sight. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to make sure that she was around somebody and it wasn't going to be a scary situation. Yeah. But the whole basement is like her own little apartment basically. It's going okay. She had a very hard time with it at first because
did she have to leave a house that she had been in for years and years and years and years? Is that what the deal was?
Exactly. Yeah. So she had a hard time with it not being her house and her rules, and we didn't have to listen to what she said all the time.
Do you guys give her a curfew and stuff? What are your rules that she doesn't like?
No, not. I mean, she's got her own thing, but she stays downstairs and she thinks that because she was with us, she can tell us how to raise our kids.
Yeah, let's go.
What we need to do and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's nice when she's downstairs and gives us our space and she keeps her space.
So that
when it has to be.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So when she thinks if she wants to invite somebody over, she's going to be hanging out upstairs with us, which is not a big deal if she lets us know, but that's our space.
Right.
And I'm like, no, if you want somebody over to hang out with, that's you and your space. And I think she had a whole different picture in her head when we got this kind of house. We were going to be just this one big happy family, and that's just not how we are.
So do you hit a snag every week, or has it gotten easier? Have people kind of learned the way other people live?
It's gotten easier,
okay,
for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, knowing what you know, and after you've
harder in the first month.
After you've been through it, would you ever recommend this to someone? Obviously not.
I would if you know you're going to get along with that person. If we kind of knew how hard-headed she is, so we kind of knew it was going to be difficult going into it. But I think if you get along with that person, it's going to be a lot better. Oh, turkey.
Oh,
sorry.
All right, we'll let you focus on the road here.
Oh, that was my favorite part of the show so far today. So, Mallory, let's say you've got one extra room in your house, and you have to let either Kat or myself live with you for just 90 days. Who do you go with and why?
Cat for sure.
Do you know her bathroom? Do you know her bathroom situations?
That's okay. I think if I had to have another, sorry to say, JJ, but another guy with the way that you think in my house, I would go crazy.
You don't even know the mental opportunities you'd have ahead of you and how I could expand your horizons to be the full thinking person you really should be, Mallory.
You just have to lock in somewhere and just...
I want you to give this some thought. You maybe call back tomorrow after you've changed your mind.
She won't.
We'll welcome back out of the show. Look out for the turkeys. Have a good morning.
Bye, Mallory.
Good morning and welcome in. I'm very interested to find out why you hated a former coworker.
I really have only hated one person, and she just made life really tough for everybody. You know, like she would tattle a lot. She didn't have the skills to go up to you and say, "This is upsetting me. Can you stop doing this?" She would just go right to management with stuff, and she would I don't know how to explain it. It was always things that really puzzled me that a grown woman would do. She was in her 40s, and I was always like, what's going on? And I was very young, so I was making mistakes. You know, you make mistakes when you're 19, 20 years old, and just to see that is how she was reacting to stuff, I'm like, is life going to get easier? You know how your parents are like, oh, yeah, you know, bullies go away after high school. That's not true. You know, you just have to know how to have the confidence to deal with them. But yeah, she just made life hard for a lot of people.
I've had a lot of people that I've worked with that I was just gonna say that I've not totally respected or didn't understand, but I don't think I've ever hated anyone I worked with. I hated one guy my entire life, and that was my childhood bully.
Yeah,
and
he would take your glasses and break them.
Broke my glasses. I remember, I didn't grow up super wealthy like Kat, but I remember I got like this super cool baseball. I was like 9 or 10, and I got a baseball for my birthday. And because I think my parents had ordered it, or they got it from somebody, but it was an actual Major League Baseball. Like it had the Major League stamp on it and stuff like that.
I hate this story.
And
so
and we were playing baseball at the church.
Yeah,
we're playing, and this kid comes by and he goes, "Oh, let me see that." And he took it and he walked it right over to the storm gutter and threw it down there. And I was like, God, that made me so angry. I want to know about the person maybe that hates you. And Jake, I'm glad you texted because you got some of this going on. Tell us the entire story, will you?
My coworker was just like talking trash about me because like it was raining, and so just like when I was on my way to work, I apparently like I drove past him when I was like trying to change a flat tire like in the soaking rain. I'm like, bro, like I went up to him, I was like, dude, I didn't even know that was you at the time. Like, yeah, I looked like you, but dude, you kind of like, I don't know. A lot of people look like you.
So let me get this right. You're going to work. You see somebody on the road. It's raining. They got a flat tire. You bust past them. And now you get to work and he's dogging you out to everybody else because you didn't stop and help.
Are you sure you didn't know it was him?
You knew it was him for sure, didn't you?
Like 90% sure it was not him.
Why didn't you stop?
Come on, dude. He drives like such a bland car. It's like a blue Toyota Corolla. I see those things on the road all the time. Like, how am I supposed to know that's your Toyota Corolla, bro?
So what kind of stuff is he saying to other coworkers?
He's just like basically just like saying that like, you know, I'm not a team player and I haven't been a team player.
Yeah.
And this is like proof beyond the reasonable doubt. You know, I'm never willing to like pause from my work to help him out with his stuff. And it's like, dude, just because like you're bad at this doesn't mean like you get to throw me under the bus. For just like, I'm doing my basic needs. I clock it at 9. I'm out at 5 o'clock.
You're that Amazon worker that let that house go up in fire. In flames. You're the one that's like, yeah, I don't get paid enough to care. I guarantee you say that on a daily basis.
Well, it's simple enough, dude. I mean, like they bring me in, you know, you pay me enough. You pay me for these hours. So I agree to come in for these hours, and that's when I'll work.
How can you be surprised then when he's dogging you out to everybody? Like, this is, I mean, do you care?
Yeah, I care because, like, there's a lot of, like, a hot tail walking around this office.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Enough of that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, Alex. How you doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. You're hated at your workplace.
Oh, yeah. I'd be surprised if they didn't hate me, but I think the feeling is mutual.
Why do you hate somebody?
Okay. And don't say where you work.
Oh, no, I was not planning on it.
Okay.
They just kind of are one of those people that can't ever be happy, you know, and they don't like it that you're happy.
Oh.
Okay.
You know, they've been working there for a very long time, and I've been there only a couple years, and they all the time, you know, it's a retail place. So, you know, you're supposed to be kind of, you know, personable.
Sure, that helps.
And I don't think I'm like over happy or nice to people, but they're just very bothered by it for some reason.
Okay.
And it's just, you know, and they're very outspoken about it and how much they don't like their job. And
so do they want you, whenever a customer comes in, to be over the top? Hello, welcome. What can I do for you? And that's just not your temperament.
Well, that is my temperament.
Oh, that's
but it's
your
not theirs.
temperament. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they are very, very cynical and don't enjoy that other people don't feel the same way, and they make it very known.
Yeah.
And it makes the workspace just not feel good.
Yeah. Well, I can feel it. Like, you're like, I don't want to go to work because of this person. So do you find yourself, like, genuinely your mood has changed when you know this person's going to be working versus, you know, you won't be working with them?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, everybody is kind of, when they're not there one day, it's like, okay, there's a little breath of fresh air in the place because
Are they someone that's been there?
Sitting there dragging you down.
Or is there someone that's been there long enough where they're probably not going anywhere anytime soon? This will be it for them?
Yeah. They're very close to retirement, thankfully. So
You got to go work at
it's
Chick-fil-A.
just a grin and bear it.
They're all like you at Chick-fil-A. They're like so over the top happy. It's crazy.
Plus the chicken, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's how you get return customers, I suppose.
And sometimes these people might win. You know what I mean? Like sometimes these people that have other people backing them, they might win. And then you might have to go somewhere else. And
bitchy middle-aged white folk are the worst.
They sure are.
How did you know?
Aren't they? Because I know. I know. This is exactly. Kat's pointing at me, but here's the big difference: is I will be a heavy complainer about some things, but then I get it done. Like I'm not just going to complain about it and hope that it fixes itself. So what you got to do? Go in there. You go in there. You kneecap this person. And then next thing you know, you're a really, really happy guy, Alex.
Bad advice. Thank you for calling, Alex.
It's an option. I'm not saying it's the best option, but it's an option. As you get a little bit older, for some reason, you just want to complain about getting older. And I get it. It's all natural stuff. You start looking back on your 20s and 30s and things didn't hurt. Things worked the right way. You weren't so concerned about your longevity. Then you hit a certain age and you're like, geez, I got to do a little more maintenance here.
Great news. Derek's poop culture that he sent in via mail.
I did that.
Came back all good.
I like that. So. When that happens, it's a good feeling. It's a weird little time to wait after you poop in a box and send it in to see whether or not it's going to be good for you. So answers so far to the question of what's the most annoying thing about getting older? If you had to say like just one thing, Kat, what would it be?
I'm going to say being inconvenienced, because after a certain time of your life, you're like, I don't have like a ton of time left. Like when you're in your 20s, you're going to live forever, you know? And then when you reach a certain age, you're like, you guys got to do stuff right because it's ruining my life. I went to a store. I'm not going to say what store because I wanted to bring some stuff there, and they were just closed. And online, it said they were open. So I Googled. I did myself a service because I'm like, I'm not going to drive all the way across town and not know the hours. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go treat myself to what I want. I go to another store and I Googled their store hours. Oh, sorry, we're closed Monday, Tuesday. We're open Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. And I'm like, it didn't say that on Google. It said we are open Monday through Friday. And now you throw in a random Sunday. You know, it just like is an inconvenience. 2 places I drove to, and they weren't open.
Most popular answers this morning, other than Kat's long
Don't ask me
answer of what is the most annoying thing about getting older?
Is that everybody keeps pointing it out to you.
Can't have the fun you used to without people judging you.
Your body hating you more and more every day you get out of bed. The added responsibilities that come on a daily basis. Finances and budgeting.
I would say the health issues.
Getting up at all hours of the night having to pee.
Pain in your joints, not being able to bend over and do the things you could before.
So for me, it's the endurance thing. At the gym, I've noticed a significant decrease in how many sets I can get in before I really get tired and stuff like that. I used to be able to just go.
Yeah.
Now I got to get adequate rest. Jessica, how are you this morning?
Morning, good. How are you guys?
We're great.
Good,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
asking. What's the most annoying thing about getting older?
I don't know. My body, I think, is not as limber and.
Do you do what you
I'm
feel like
tired.
you need to do every day to keep it in good shape, or are you just kind of like, oh, okay?
Well, working doesn't help, but yeah, we try to walk every day, and depending on the weather, but I'm ready for bed for by 8:00, and my kids are like, "No, Mom, stay up."
You woke up with us this morning. What hurts?
My shoulder, actually.
Yeah. Why? What happened? You slept wrong.
I always blame my pillow
Yeah,
on
it probably
anything.
did. Yeah, and workman's work issue, so kind of watch how I sleep on it, I guess.
Do you
I'm
have
trying to get through physical therapy.
Do you have a physical job? Like you're potentially getting hurt or stressed out?
production.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So it's, yep.
So I have the least strenuous job, and I think it was 2 years ago that I got a real slap in the face. I reached for my mouse, and I pulled my neck, from the bottom of my neck through the middle of my back, and I was out of commission for 4 or 5 days. It was crazy.
No,
so I can't imagine what you do.
One of our most popular answers that people are texting in this morning is the 3-day hangover.
Yeah.
Is there anything? And when you were 23, it was, I'm ready to go the next day at 8 a.m. Now it's like, if you go out Friday night, you need Saturday, part of Sunday to recover, and you still feel like crap when you go to work Monday.
Yes, and a big one is liquid IV.
Yeah, right.
That'll help.
You got to find a way to rehydrate, and that's one of those things. Yeah, when you're younger, it's just not even a deal. Hey, thanks for checking in. Hope you have a really good day today. Hope your shoulder feels better.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You have a good day.
Appreciate it. It's on our Facebook page if you want to drop something in there. So many people talking about the hangovers, the body aches. Nose hair. Oh, nose hair. Dude, I have a friend who, I don't know where, I hadn't seen him in probably about a hot 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But in those 3 weeks, he became the ear hair champion of the universe.
Did he really?
Oh my God. It's just pouring out of there. And I'm like, somebody has to tell this guy. And he's got a wife and kids. I've told my wife and kids several times, if you see a nose hair or an ear hair, just get it out of there. Pluck it or tell me about it. I don't want to be the guy out in public where all of a sudden they're like, did you see that? It looks like he's blowing a kazoo out of his ear. You know
So
what
I
I mean?
want to get a nose hair wax. Mine aren't out of control, but they say that nose hair is there for a reason, to catch all the dirt. But I'm
It's
like, I don't
unattractive.
I don't want it to get out of control. But that whole nose waxing thing has me a little.
Do you use
scared.
I use the trimmer like every other day.
I have a trimmer.
I'll hit my ears, especially with the trimmer and the nose. I'm like, I just don't want to be that guy, man. I don't know why, but I remember being like a little kid in church and seeing some of the older people.
Yeah.
And always dressed in a suit, but you see that the nose hair looked like they were, like a party favor. You know what I mean? Just it was coming out of there. So for you, what is the most just annoying thing about getting old? You can call, you can text, you can hit us on our Facebook page.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo!
Bingo
what bingo? Bingo! Bingo!
So here's how listener bingo works. It's quickly becoming our favorite segment because it's your story that dominates here. We want you to call us immediately if either of these fit your lifestyle. Maybe you're somebody listening who
has something offensive on your vehicle, something that is well visible. People have a hard time with it.
Who's going to admit to this?
They pull it. What do you mean? You have a bumper sticker. There's a reason why people put stuff on their cars because they are vocal about their feelings. Are you kidding me? But one, we tried to give away a long time ago, about 15 years ago.
This was almost the end of the show.
We gave away a ton of these, and then somebody around here had a problem with them.
I've also heard an argument about this bill saying, well, it could penalize people who put
certain things on their trailer hitches.
They call them truck nuts. They're gross, they're offensive, and kids on the road see them. So why wouldn't the police get a call and say, that offends me, pull it off the truck? Because now this bill will allow it.
Okay, so they're funny looking.
They're trying to ban truck nuts.
Yeah, so that's in Idaho. So you have something offensive on your vehicle. What is it? So
Well, this is a flashback I didn't need this morning. I'm looking for anyone listening who just doesn't go to work. We had heard from somebody who played this morning a game with us. We said, what are you going to do today? Got to go to work? And he goes, no, I'm just going to hang out.
Just hanging out.
So, like, you tell your friends, your family members, people around you that, I'm just not going to work today. Now, maybe you were blessed. You fell into a bunch of money. Maybe you got to retire early, but you're just not going to go to work.
What a life.
And since Megan said she's already going to work, I'm guessing you picked Kat's bingo this morning, right? Megan.
Oh, yes. Hi.
I'm sorry. Did you think we were talking to the other Megan?
No.
All right.
So
should we just sit here and have awkward conversation, or do you want to tell us what's on your card that's a little bit offensive?
So I have a, you know how people have the window magnets that say baby on board?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine says baby up in this bee.
And do you get laughs or like thumbs up?
Most people are like, yeah, I like that. We did have an elderly gentleman once that stopped my husband at the gas station and asked if it was really necessary to have that.
So it's not necessary. It doesn't have anything to do with the structural integrity of my vehicle.
Did he think it was the guy that put that on your car? So he was mad for you. I love when people get mad for other people.
Yeah, my husband was just like, yeah, it's necessary. Yeah. And just like went about putting his gas on.
Do you ever get weird looks? You said you were dropping your daughter off at daycare. Is that the spot you're most likely to get the weird looks?
No. Honestly, I figured I would at work, but no one's really said anything either. It's usually at Walmart, people are like, hey, yeah, I like your sticker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, thanks.
That's your crowd.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
All right.
And what color is this baby up in this bee sticker?
Oh, it's bright yellow. It's the yellow caution sign.
I love it. Do you guys remember, I don't know how old you are, Megan, but what were they called that were so popular for a while, but you could stick them on your window? I think they were called Moonies. And they had this little pump on it, like an air pump, and when you pressed it, the guy would moon somebody. Do you remember ever seeing those?
Oh my gosh. No, I don't remember that, but that's hilarious.
If your kids were sitting in the back seat, they could hold the little air bulb, and if they pressed it, this guy that was like a little cartoon figure would de-pants himself, and it would moon the people that were next to you. I always thought those were the best. I really wanted one.
You can probably
of those.
Get one on Amazon today.
Look at it. And
They have those signs now that you have like a hand on it, and you can flick people off.
Oh, right. They're like neon, and you can use a little use a little switch. Those are that's like a 6 months from now, Timu's going to get it to you kind of order, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Well, hey, thanks for chiming in. I think this is a great sticker. When you get stopped today, will you take a quick pic and text it to us? Because I really want to see this.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Megan. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Yep. My thing.
Now, we had a couple of people texting in. What's the truck nut story? So this had to be 10 years ago, at least.
I used to call businesses that had funny or weird products, and it was right when they came out. Like Elf on the Shelf, we had her on the week she developed it.
Yeah.
And so we gave away Elf on the Shelf, all these weird things. And then we got the creator of truck nuts to send us a bunch.
He sent us like 24 sets of truck nuts.
And so we were like, everybody, like Oprah, like the best Oprah gift ever. I'm like, you get one, you get one, you get one.
Probably our most popular contest ever.
I bring up the box of them and the winner's sheets, and somebody here was like, we're not handing these out. This is disgusting. I'm not touching these. And so we had to
The worst
never give
text
them away
we would always get during the morning would be like the president of our company would text us in my office 10:03
after the show.
Jesus, we'd walk in there. The day we walked in there, he just grabs them and he holds them up and he goes, "What the hell are these?" And I go, "They're truck
Your
nuts."
laughing did not help.
I go, "They're truck nuts." And he goes, "And we're giving these away right now?" And I go, "Yeah, everybody wanted them." "These are very offensive. We're not giving these away anymore." And I'm like, all right. So I guess, but he's not here anymore. Could we get away with it now?
Yeah, I'll reach out. We'll get a dozen more.
It could be truck nut season up in here.
Yep.